Yeah, welcome back again to another episode of Global from Asia podcast. Today we're going to have episode 377, and the setup here is kind of not the usual one.
Welcome to the Global from Asia podcast, where the daunting process of running an international business is broken down into straight up actionable advice. And now, your host, Michael Michelini.
Do you hear the coffee machine in the background, or Aubrey?
Ano,
No? Okay, yeah, the mic is pretty good. There's Luciano's here cooking. So
I started before you guys.
no, it's all good. It's all good. I don't think Aubrey, do you hear the coffee?
no.
No, he's making some coffee here. I'm hanging out with Luciano and David. So episode 377 of Global from Asia, as Aubrey had just said. How are you, Aubrey? I think you said you've been traveling a little bit in between
Eh,
cities.
yeah, I've been doing well. I hope so. Because on my previous city or previous province, it's kind of really so hassle due to power interruption and such. As in almost every day, almost 4 hours to 5 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Is that
really
a,
crazy.
do you think that's because is that anything to do with the pandemic or anything, or is that normal?
Due to fuel, I guess, fuel
Oh,
shortage and high pricing as well.
oh, that's the reason. I don't know if you saw Wendy at the GFA Kids bought a generator for one of the teachers. You saw that? I don't know, maybe I hope that helps them because they have actual live, sessions, and then it's been canceled due to power outages. So it's crazy times in everywhere in the world. I mean, but we have to be creative and positive. It's really great. Thanks for always your hard work, Aubrey. And we can talk about today's show, Print on Demand. Eric Wong comes back. He was on the show earlier this year about logistics and supply chain during the pandemic. I did it actually in the same seat. But today I went to meet him with Luciano a couple weeks ago, and it's audio only, so it's a little bit different, right, Aubrey? And
Yeah, it's kind of different than our usual setup, but I believe it will still be helpful for our listeners or viewers.
yeah. So I think during the interview, it'll just, if you're watching this on YouTube or in WeChat, we put this a lot on WeChat, it'll be just a static image of the show. But of course, I just felt like I didn't want to put the video on because it was just us sitting to, it would have taken a lot of video bandwidth. And I also think people don't talk the same when they're on camera versus just in a microphone. Like I'm thinking about my hair right now and things like that. So we decided to not do that. But also we did a little video tour after of the facility. And that, I think we'll make it a separate video clip. It'll be like a 3-minute video. And I think our video team will help make that as a separate video so people can watch the tour with Eric's facility as a separate video. But also, maybe before we go in, how long are we? I don't want to take too much time on our intro. So maybe after the intro, we'll talk about the status of the Excalibur Brothers products and also some ideas that we got from the interview at the Print on Demand. I think we'll tune into the interview audio only today. Let's do this. Ready, Aubrey?
Ready? Let's tune in.
Let's go. All right. And thank you to our sponsor, our returning sponsor, Mercury.com, online bank. Well, it's a real bank, but you can do it totally online for US. Our Blimp program participants are going through this as well. Thank you, Mercury. Travis is great there. He's been on our show. He's been in our events. We're going to have another event where we will have them attending as well. And if you want to get a little bonus for you and us, if you sign up and do some special circumstances, you can go to globalfromasia.com/Mercury. I also have a video tutorial that we use even for the Blimp people. I use the same exact video to learn how to use it. I hope you can check it out. Totally free. Why not? See you there. All right. So thank you, everybody, for listening to another Global from Asia podcast. We're here in Baoan district of Shenzhen at Eric Wong's office. How are you doing today, Eric?
It's been pretty busy, and from the business, it's kind of like picking up.
Great. I know we were on the show a few months ago. I think you were not locked down. I was locked down with Luciano's here, so we were both locked down. But it seems like things are in June. We're in June now. It's mostly open, at least in Shenzhen, right?
Yeah, I think Shenzhen now is like fully open and fully operational, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's back to
Yeah,
normal.
Shanghai is also getting back. As far as we can see, we have been talking with some of our customers in Shanghai, and they are also starting to run.
Okay, that's great. But I heard Beijing. Somebody just told me they escaped Beijing to the south. I think.
Beijing, I think only some of the community, because last week also I got a friend who came from Beijing, so only got the COVID test, and then if the test is okay, and then he's okay to go anywhere.
Okay, interesting. All right, so we talked about logistics last time, which is your specialty, and we're gonna do a video tour after the audio recording. So I just thought today we'll do some audio only content, and then we'll take a tour of the facility where we're at. So definitely we'll link that in the show notes so people can watch the video. But for today, we're talking about print on demand, or POD, which you've mentioned to me, and I've been curious. I don't use too much of it, but can you just kind of give a first intro of POD for people that didn't hear of that before?
Okay, so POD, as known as like print on demand, it is very popular for Shopify sellers, or those guys who run their independent like website store. And the POD, most of the POD product are like t-shirts, jerseys, and even shoes. And also there are some guys using the POD thing to work on products like garbage, like headphones, or like like water drinking bottles, this kind of thing. To want to add some element like their own brand.
Yep, it's really cool. And I think we mostly talk about private label, Amazon, and Global from Asia. Like, I think we're doing a current case of Excalibur Brothers. Luciano's sitting next to me, but he's just relaxing for this show. But we're still, I'm still used to the old-fashioned 1,000 piece MOQ, production, custom making. But I think the beautiful thing about POD is it's kind of like Luciano says, it's like half dropship, half private label.
True.
Right? Like, you can still get your unique brand, but also have the low MOQ. So you could even do you could do as low as one piece with
It is doable. It is doable, definitely doable. But this kind of one-piece model is very painful to the service provider. So that's why in most cases, the service provider will reject only one-piece model. And we tried to do this without MOQ, but it turned out that there's so many rookies, they just came here, just ask, and then ask, quote, and then run away. And nothing really happened.
I agree. So that's why I think it's interesting for Amazon sellers to learn about this, because Amazon sellers are used to the 1,000 MOQ anyway. So even if it's what do you think is a reasonable MOQ then? If it's one piece, what 50, 100? What do you think is
something like 100 units would definitely doable, because especially for like FBA sellers, they want to test the market and they just buy something and send to the Amazon warehouse. And 100 pieces is not a big investment.
Yep.
But it's still not too uncomfortable for the service provider.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds fair. And you were saying the process of putting the branding on it is ultraviolet or UV? So
it can be UV or engraving or laser printing. There are a lot of like way to do it. But the key is to add branding element onto the product, or at least the package.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Luciano, if you want to pop in with a question.
I think not only the logo itself, but you can also use these techniques like laser and UV to customize your product in a very creative and unique way, in a way that your competitor is not gonna have.
Yeah, for sure. So, you're unique. We're also in China as foreigners. You're Chinese. You speak really good English and work with foreign. Is it mostly Chinese sellers doing this, or foreign sellers, or is it a mix of both? Like, or what do you think?
Both. First of all, if some sellers in other countries where US, they have their own printing facility, they also do the POD thing. But it's more like providing a service For example, if I want to put like Mike's name on T-shirt as a birthday gift, it will be very easy to do. And there are also Chinese that are doing. Chinese are doing is like they do in a massive scale. Yeah, so they have a lot of SKUs, a lot of inventory. So whenever the customer, they either want to print their logo, or print anything else, right? Or if for the election campaign, or just for a sports event. So they kind of like business model. And then one of my friend, as I told previously, she just does the POD for the sports jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he sells around like $100.
Yeah.
But it ended up actually, if you want to do this in Chinese market, if you buy from the Chinese e-commerce website, it costs only around 60 to 80 or no more than 100 RMB. So
Yeah.
you see there is like a 6 times difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So let's just go through the normal workflow, the process to get started for somebody. I think the first step is finding the supplier that could do this. Would that be a normal Alibaba, AliExpress, Taobao, or is there?
So there, I think, first of all, if you want to go to Alibaba or AliExpress, those sellers or those company, actually the trading company, they buy from the wholesaler in China or buy from the manufacturer in China, and they mark up the price. So those guys, in most cases, they were probably not willing to do it. So the right approach is if you can find a sourcing agent, or if you can read the Chinese website directly, let's say 168. So you go there and you find the product, and you buy like 50 pieces or 100 pieces, and then you find the right service provider and use the UV or engraving, and then just put a logo on it, and then job done.
Yeah.
So the whole process, I think, takes less than a week.
Yeah. And then the AI file is,
just a logo file,
A logo
or like
file.
AI format, or just PDF file that will do.
Great. And we talked about it in a previous show that you did, which was great, but there's different shipping ways. So I know we draw it on the board before the recording, but normally it's what's the normal fulfillment way you recommend?
So I think there are 2 ways. Let's say first, if you sell on Amazon, that will be very easy. Then if we have the product ready, you can create the FBA shipping plan, and then we just send it to the Amazon warehouse. It's pretty easy. And also, because it is a POD model, I assume that the product or the packet will not be too heavy. If we use the UPS, send it to the Amazon warehouse let's say in the US, it's just a matter of 5 to 7 days from our warehouse to the Amazon warehouse. And then there will be another way will be if you sell on Shopify or other, or WordPress, whatsoever, something like Shopify, that the order can be fulfilled from China directly. Now let's say that the fastest one will be 5 to 7, or it's like 3 to 5 days. There are also available solution like 5 to 7 days and 10 to 15 days. And but the faster, the more expensive.
For sure.
And this kind of shipping method is also available for European market, most of the European countries and most of the Southeast Asia countries, and I think around 50% of South America countries. And so these are the 2 business models. The first one is shipping sent to Amazon warehouse, and then the second one is shipped from China directly to the customer's address.
Yep. And for the second one, probably normally the way I think I would do it is like where you put all the boxes into one master carton and then ship to the US and then last mile from the US rather than that's an interesting way. So let's talk about you were briefly talking about, but I think maybe we could dive in a little bit more of some examples. So like the jersey business. So your client, your customer, they are just focused on the basketball jersey.
Soccer. And American football as well.
And American football.
Yeah.
So then they have those designs on their website, and then their customer is buying they do one piece, or do they do
one piece or like multi pieces?
Okay, and then probably Shopify website.
Yep, Shopify store.
And then
they use the Facebook ads, and they actually have their returning customer quite a lot.
Nice. And so then the customer would upload their design to his website and then ships to them.
And so upload design is actually very simple because they will list those available designs. Let's say a white label T-shirt, and the customer only upload their logo or other creatives. Yeah, with a printable or PDF file or a AF format file, and then they will just print it on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. It's pretty straightforward. I think for us, Luciano and I are here talking about Excalibur Brothers, the Amazon brand, but I think the other idea is just for Amazon sellers. So maybe we go into an Amazon seller example. For Amazon seller, do they do POD as well?
There is. I know some, or at least I know one Amazon sellers in China. They do the POD on Amazon.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then the business model, the shipping model is FBM. So they have the kind of hoodie, at least the hoodie on the Amazon, and the customer also give the information for them, and then they print it, and then use the UPS or the DHL sent to the customer directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have experience with that, but that could be a second. So the first one was the jerseys on Shopify, which is pretty clear. Their customer uploads the logo. They then buy from the supplier. The second is FBM from Amazon with POD. But the third, I think, is one that maybe Luciano and I can implement for Excalibur Brothers is use your own brand. Like, don't let the end customer, you just put your Excalibur Brothers or your Amazon brand, right? So if you're an Amazon seller with your own brand, you could put your brand on these products rather than buying 1,000 MOQ from the factory. You could do 100 MOQ with print on demand, and then have the supplier do that here, and then use your fulfillment, send to FBA, and then have lower quantity.
Yeah, and the one you just said, compared to the old school one, is first of all save a lot of time, and also save a lot of cost. First, it's very straightforward. I just want to print the brand logo on it. Yeah, the requirement is pretty straightforward, and also the time used is also much less, because in the past you have to design a mold, right? You have to send to the manufacturer back and forth a very long time, and also you have a much bigger MOQ.
Awesome. Getting some ideas already, but it's definitely an interesting way. And it works on what kind of materials? We said leather, cloth.
Basically, almost everything.
Everything.
Yeah. UV can print over everything, almost everything. It's very wood, ceramic, stainless steel, plastic. It works. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there other points that you think we should add for people listening? Like, of course you can't sell copyright products, right? You can license, and it's getting more and more difficult on any platform to sell fake, it has to be you have to have the license or approval to sell that brand, right? Of course, everybody wants to put Nike or Adidas on their product, but they can't do that legally. It's getting less and less, right? There's less of that all the time.
In the open field, there are less and less. But nowadays there are so many tools like Discord,
True.
Telegram. If you dive in or just search rap on Discord, you will find a whole different world.
Rep?
Yeah.
R-E-P?
Replica rap.
Oh, replica. Got it.
Yeah. And then also if you search on Reddit,
yeah,
it'll be a whole different story.
Got it.
The shipment's still very, very big.
Got it. Another one I want to talk about is, before we recorded, we had this little private tea meeting, which was fun. I almost felt like we should have recorded that. But one part you were talking about is we could get our own machine. What would be the reason to get our own machine versus, work with a supplier?
So first of all, the machine is actually kind of easy to use. If the guy who has a bit understanding of mechanic will have the spirit of hands-on, so it will be very easy to do. So you can actually fulfill your ideas easily. And second, the cost is not that big, as can be. I think it's just slightly more expensive than the latest iPhone. Yeah, if you want a smaller one.
Interesting.
It's kind of like 3D printer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you also have a kind of local business, I think it'd be fun to have one.
Nice.
Yeah, because it's very easy. Because I went to the UV printer manufacturer. It's pretty easy to hands-on.
Nice. Yeah, you made me think back in Thailand. I was, I'm honestly working on getting back to Thailand, but when I was there for a couple of years, there was these little family businesses in the mall, right? And they're doing, I guess, print on demand, right? They have the blank shirts, and then you could give them your file. I think I show you later. I have a Global from Asia logo pencil case I got in Philippines actually, but it's true. So people listening overseas could order the machine, send it there, get a lot of blank product, and do their own fulfillment.
Yeah. I think this. I know a girl from Texas. She also she bought some like a white label T-shirt, and then I'm not sure what kind of stuff he used to do the private labeling. But he do it as a service in his like local township.
Okay. A little bit more specific, kind of for Excalibur Brothers or us, like would somebody like us use it and put it in your fulfillment center in Shenzhen? Is there still a reason for us to, or even a listener, like a seller, to have their own machine in China? Like, why would I want to do that?
I think it's unnecessary. Still, you need somebody here to do the service. Mm-hmm. So if you just either buy one to get it
for
back
overseas.
in your own country or at home, or either just buy the service here in China.
Got it.
Yeah, because nevertheless, you have a guy here to do the service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you just buy the service directly?
Makes sense. The sneakers sounds cool. Can you kind of give me some ideas of products that people are doing this with? Like you said, I guess it could be anything, but I just kind of want to brainstorm for some people listening.
The kind of sneaker things is there are factories in another province, Fujian province, right? So first of all, they are very well known for making very high quality replica. Yeah. But now the government is kind of cracking down the replica, at least openly, but secretly they still making this replica. But there are some factories, they are trying to switch their business into a more legal business. So they are still making this kind of very good shoes, where they have their own design. But there are buyers who want their the shoes to be more, to be more creative, or to present his or her own identity. So they want to print something on the shoes, different design or different logos or different colors. True. Or different graphics.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. So in the end, it's still kind of, kind of service business. Yeah. A service business which attached to a physical product.
Another point, we chatted about this on WeChat. I haven't talked about it today, but NFTs. Like all these artists. Actually, Luciano designs his own NFTs as an artist. He's an artist. I've seen like Bored Ape Club shoes. Like the collector just prints their own shoe with their ape. I've seen it for some other collections too. I think there's a huge opportunity for selling, NFT print on demand.
That's doable. Yeah, because basically NFT, you get a digital file, right?
Yep.
And then you just need a physical product.
Yep.
Attached to it.
Yep. And as long as you own that NFT rights or have the commercial rights, then you could sell those.
Yeah, I think the NFT, because I'm not really into the NFT, but since you come up with this idea, I think it's a very good idea, because the NFT is a physical, it's a virtual one.
Yep.
And then you have a physical product.
Yep.
To put on it. Yeah.
It's awesome. There's so much opportunities.
Yeah, and also the in terms of UV printing, it can come up with a very good visual details.
Nice.
Yeah, it can be very detailed.
Also, the laser as well can do a lot of stuff. Even can buy like a metal lighter, aluminum lighter, and engrave with laser. It will feel like it's manufactured. We're not gonna feel is print on demand.
It's really cool.
And also, let's say the NFT, if you want to create
iPhone
kind of
case.
uniqueness, let's say iPhone case, right?
Yeah.
Just where you just put it, you put an NFT file, the graphic on it,
Yeah.
and just put I own it, right?
It's true.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
yeah.
All right, I think this is a fun discussion. Also, we're going to include in the show notes a video. So I think we'll take a walk around the facility as an additional piece, separate content, just to give you some visual. And you're also a member of GFA VIP. Thank you for that. And also in our WeChat groups for you to connect with Eric, right? And any other last words you want to add?
Well, I mean, the world is changing pretty fast.
It's true.
From a business perspective, last 2 years, was pretty good as for a shipping company. But this year, man, is a very tough year.
Oh no.
And we do believe that. I mean, the next half of this year probably can be better. But nevertheless, people have a life to live. They need to buy stuff. They need to consume stuff. There's still some opportunities.
Awesome.
Yeah. And also, I believe in the long run, the supply chain resources here in China is still very abundant, and it's going to be more and more advanced. So how to connect yourself with the Chinese supply chain resources, that will still be a very big room to do business.
Okay. It's really nice. Well, yeah, it's been a rough year for, I think, so many people. Like May crushed me. I don't know, Lucia. Luna, crypto crushed. There was that hurt. There was a lot of things. Aggregators, Amazon aggregators have been downsizing and laying off and cutting contracts. A lot of things been getting cut. So I think it makes us stronger, right? Like it makes us be creative
and also aim for the long run. I still have the challenge, do the right thing, just create value, find something good. That's it. I think we still can get it, the business running.
It's perfect. Okay. Thanks so much, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
All right. So Aubrey, do you want to give us an update on Excalibur Brothers products, production, and shipping right now?
Yeah, right now the polishing cloth, I believe, are about to enter the US, right?
Yeah.
And I believe we are targeting to have it live on July already. And for the other two products, the production is almost done as well. And yeah, I hope we're going to have those products live by
Yeah, I
August.
know. It's taken a lot longer than I think all of us thought. It's half a year since we started, but it's really amazing. I mean, we'll link to maybe not to the listing, but Aubrey, maybe link to the Excalibur Brothers product page. We made the page, and I don't know if the website will be up to date by the time the show goes online. It's a big task. I think Penny and Manley are working on it, but Luciano helped make a really nice new whole website, so we can link to the product pages in the show notes as well. Okay, and let's talk about what we learned or what I learned. Luciano and I went up there it's about half hour, 45 minutes drive, I think, from where we are in Shenzhen, and we saw Eric right by the airport. It's like one of those things, Aubrey, where the plane might fly right over you for landing. He's like right at the airport area. And I think the one big takeaway I got from it is, print on demand. A lot of people think about the obvious stuff, which is printing T-shirts with like a logo, right? Like, maybe some political or some sports or whatever you print but what we're trying to say in the interview is you can be a little bit more creative, and print on demand could be on any kind of product. So of course, Excalibur Brothers, we did this 1000 MOQ style production that took some time, but we could also take some products and make them unique by printing, the brand, say Excalibur Brothers, and some design. And instead of having to order a large quantity, you could do a smaller quantity, even, maybe a 50 pieces or 100 pieces, but then still be able to be different. You don't want to look the same. You want to have differentiator. So that's kind of the one big point. And then Eric was just saying, FBA sellers could learn from this and could try more products with lower quantities. So that's some ideas there. Aubrey, what do you think of that?
That's a good advantage, right? Having low MOQ plus you can customize your products.
Exactly.
And I'm not sure if it's already not a blue ocean market already or still a blue ocean market, or is it popular
Um,
right now?
Of course, depends. So the idea is, and we somewhat discussed these in the interview, there's different ways of printing on a product, right? There's screen prints, which is kind of, I think, the traditional where they, you go to the mall in Manila, right? And you want to get a t-shirt and they just put the sticker and they melt it on the shirt. That's kind of the traditional. But there's some more advanced ways that could put it on any kind of product. So of course, selling mugs and t-shirts is, I would say, Red Sea, like you said, blue ocean. I'd say this is like red, it's very bloody, very competitive because everybody's trying to sell t-shirts and cups. So, but you could take something that's not normally a print on demand, maybe even like, I'm just looking at something randomly. I picked up this scale, right? So maybe you could take this scale and you could print your logo on it. And sometimes if you ask the factory to do that, the factory will say, oh, you need to give us a 1,000 piece order. But maybe you can instead order it from the factory without a logo. And then either they could do it or maybe they don't know or want to, but send it to a print on demand machine factory and you do it yourself. And then you could have your own private label product. Okay. Yeah. Luciano's helping me out. He says UV, ultraviolet is the technology. So the idea, to answer your question, Aubrey, is you could almost take almost any product and UV print on it. So basically, instead of you having to get a large quantity to customize it, you could UV print on it and make it look like your unique product for a much lower quantity. So that's kind of the main idea. And but of course, if you take something that's very competitive on Amazon or anywhere and put your logo or UV print, it's not maybe going to be different enough. But if it's something that's not so common and put your logo or branding on it, then you could maybe differentiate. And also because competitors can't sell again on your listing because it's your product, your brand.
Yeah, that's great. Right.
Yeah,
And they should leverage this one.
for sure. So it's another idea. And, one thing we did, I think you saw, is we have our own Amazon account too. It's not selling products. So we did some flags and we sent them to Amazon and we did low quantities. And, we could make it pretty unique. And of course, with our designs and our branding. But the idea is we could add these and you could also use these as giveaways. So one idea we're doing is maybe we'll give away the flag, right? So in our upsell, cross-sell type promotion, you can give discounts or giveaways to customers and use these also as unique giveaways or upsells, cross-sells to add to your core product line. So they could be like supplementary products around your core product. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Those are some of my takeaways. So, we're already, and one product I saw is a coaster. So, like I have my tea here and you put it on a coaster, right? So that was actually a product that looked like it had good demand. And then that could be some semi-easily print on demand with ultraviolet. So we can make our own Excalibur Brothers branded and styled coasters. So that's a product that we have on our list now. And we could start with a lower quantity for the franchisee that wouldn't have to invest as much and could get that one started. So that's just one other idea there. All right, Aubrey. So great. I'm glad you're back settled from your moving around. I'm planning to move somewhat soon, maybe in the end of the summer. It's very stressful, I know. So look forward to doing more things together soon. And we'll also open up the Blimp method batch very soon. I think we're talking about an email. If people on our email list is probably the best way, or on the wait list at blimpmethod.com to get updates, right?
Right. You can just join our list there.
Great.
Mhm.
All right. That's it. Thanks so
Yes.
much, Aubrey.
Thanks,
And then
Mike, and thanks everyone for tuning into our latest episode.
thank you.
To get more info about running an international business, please visit our website at www.globalfromasia.com. That's www.globalfromasia.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes feed. Thanks for tuning in.